What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Sam from Team Sam right here, and today guys, I'm coming at you guys with a very awesome Time Thief deck profile for you guys today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know a lot of you guys have been requesting for a Time Thief deck profile, Time Thieves deck profile, but you guys all know I'm currently in Thailand right now, so I don't have access to all my cards, but my boy, Hamza and his brother from Ather Gaming has an awesome deck profile for you guys today. These guys have been playing testing this deck for quite some time, and obviously know the deck more than I do. So today these guys will be guest uploading on the channel for you guys today. So you guys have a chance, and make sure you guys check them out in the link in the description box below. They'll be absolutely amazing, guys. I promise you, more deck profiles are going to be coming soon as I get back home and I have access to all my cards. I promise you guys there's going to be non-stop content, but for now I'm trying to get you guys as much content as I possibly can. And yeah, man, this profile is very in-depth and it teaches you every single thing that you need to know about the deck. If you guys want to help support me and the channel, you guys all know, make sure you guys visit cx1.com/shop in the link in the description box below. Alright guys, enough talking. Without further ado, let's pass it on right to Ather Gaming.
What's good everybody, it's your boy Hamza from Ather Gaming, and today I'm here with another important member of Ather Gaming himself, and your name is?
Abdullah.
And what are you going to be deck profiling today, sir?
Today I'll be profiling Time Thieves. It's a deck that has just come out recently, and I think it's really good, and I think it's really interesting in what it does. Being able to outstart your opponent is pretty fun, and being able to study your opponent like for free basically is really overpowered. Before we get into the profile though, I do want to give a huge shout out to our own channel, Ather Gaming, which we'll link somewhere. We're doing a huge giveaway at 1,000 subs. We'll be giving away a play set of German Engages, first edition.
German Engages?
Yep.
Oh,
we'll be giving away a set of those. So just subscribe, guys, and see. And if you want to see more content like this and Dark Warrior stuff and just meta-relevant things. So we'll go right into the profile. We play 3 Time Thief Regulators. This card acts as the rescue rabbit of the deck. What you do is, when this card is on the field by himself, he has to be the only monster you control. You can distribute him and summon 2 Time Thief monsters from your deck with different names in defense mode. Now it's interesting because the Time Thief monsters that you summon, they actually trigger on special as well, so it doesn't lock you up from that. That's all it does. It doesn't even lock you up for specialing. It doesn't say, but you can only special summon Time Thief monsters for the rest of the turn. So it is just a generic 1 card that turns into 2, which turns into even more. It has a secondary effect when it's in the graveyard. If an XYZ monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon it from your grave, but banish it when it leaves the field.
Okay. Has that effect ever come up, the second effect?
Yeah, it's like I was playing against that Arcana Force Dark Danger
FTK deck.
Yeah, that little TK deck. And the guy killed my monster, and then like Regulator came out, and he killed Regulator, and like he couldn't swing for game in time. So like it has come up.
Yeah.
Then moving on to the other Time Thieves that we play Time Thief Winder.
Yep.
This is the Candida, the Stratos, the Oviraptor of the deck. It searches your deck for any Time Thief card, except himself, but it can search for a spell or a trap.
And his name is Time Thief Winder, not Winder?
Yeah, his name is Time Thief Winder, not Winder. So he can search for anything in the archetype except himself when he's normal or specialed. The secondary effect that he has is you can attach an Xyz material from a monster you control, and you can special him from your hand. And again, like I said, he triggers on normal and special. This guy is what you're bringing out with Regulator. He is one of the few normal summons in the deck, but he's not that great as a normal summon. But he's a 4, which is all that's relevant in this deck. This deck is all about the rank 4 engine and being able to S-thought your opponent, and he's super important for that. Then moving forward, the last Time Thief monster we play is Bezelship. Time Thief Bezelship is very interesting because he doesn't actually do anything in terms of searching or getting your engine going, but he's super important to the combo. His effect is that quick effect when he's on the field, you can tribute him and you can target 1 Time Thief XYZ monster you control, and you can attach one card from your opponent's graveyard to your monster as material. So that's super relevant because you can do it and you can attach a Ray against Sky Striker.
Oh wow.
You can Dago Manifestation, you tribute this, attach the monster that you attach. So it's just the utility that he provides, but mainly what he does on the field is he acts as an extra body so you can link him away, because his secondary effect says that when he's in the graveyard you can attach 1 material from an Xyz monster you control, and you can special summon him, but banish him when he leaves the field. So he material fixes, he puts a body on board. The card is really good. The thing is that he doesn't do anything when he's in the hand, and we don't really want to be normal summoning him, so we really just want him in the grave, which is why we play 2.
Okay.
Usually what happens is, when you normal the Regulator, you'll tribute him off and you'll special 1 Winder and 1 Bezelship, and then you'll search the other Bezelship with the Winder. You can search, the spells and traps, but we don't play them, and we'll go into that later. Now we play the first supporting engine of the deck, which are Dangers. Now Dangers are insane. The cards are broken. They're all dark monsters, and so are the Time Thieves. So we get to play consistency cards like Allure of Darkness. We get to play the Phantom Knight Rusty. And so the dangers are insane. Like, I don't really need to go too much into them. Mothman is super important because he's a level 4, which is actually why we play 3 Chupacabra as well, because all of them are level 4, so they help us with our plays. When you do the combo, the board you really want to do is you want to have at least 2 level 4s on board, just so you can make your Redoer and be able to detach and continue from there. So Chupacabra and Mothman do that. In other decks that are incorporating the Danger Engine, they don't play this ratio, but we actually care about them being level 4, so we do play them.
And you think Chupacabra at 3 in this is very important to the deck?
Absolutely, it's a necessity. You can't play this deck without 3 Chupacabra. Like, you could cut Tsushinoko before you could cut Chupacabra. That's how important Chupa is. Wow. Just because the guy gets you to the 4s. Like, you need 4s on board, and sometimes you need that 1 extra 4 to really be able to make your Redoer as a top play. Because it's fine to have level 3s on board or level 7s on board, because you just link those away into Insulator or into Bardiche and continue from there.
Yep.
But you sometimes need to have that 1 extra 4. Like, your normal summon will be a 4, and then you need a 1/4 for a special summon. And so Chupacabra is super important for that. And this card is also just really good. Like, once you have a Danger in grave, he's just as good as Nessie or Jackalope. And he's even better than Tsuchinoko in that instance, because sometimes if you have another 4 in grave, like Mothman, then you get a 4 out of your Chupacabra.
Mm-hmm.
And then we play the triple Jackalope. Of course, this card is nuts. When it gets hit, you get a special any danger from your deck. Jackalope also has extra synergy in our deck because he can summon a level 4 from deck. So if Jackalope gets hit, we don't actually care. And a lot of the times you play down your hand, reveal the Jackalope, they hit the Jackalope, and you get the last 4 from your deck. And this by himself, obviously, he's a danger, just another name.
Like guaranteed special summon.
Guaranteed special summon, which is what we want. And that's what Chupacabra is really useful too, is because he also becomes a guaranteed special. But Jackalope is relevant because he's a guaranteed special, but he's also a level 4 sometimes too, which is really important. And then we go into Nessie. Nessie's also just insane. Nessie kind of works in the same way as Jackalope in that if it gets hit, it also turns into a 4. And our Chupacabra becomes live if our Nessie gets hit. We can get out the Chupacabra, we can get out the Mothman. And so Nessie is more than a level 7, but he is just another body on board that recycles, that upstarts. It helps us spam the board and make the most use out of our Time Thief monsters in our extra deck. And then finally, we play 2 Tsuchinokos. Tsuchinoko is... It's a great card, right? Like, the guy upstarts him, and at the very least, he's a guaranteed special summon. But in our deck, we want guaranteed summons that are also 4s, and Tsuchinoko doesn't fill that requirement. The card is still really powerful, and just in what it can do and what it does do. And we play so many dangers in the deck that, like, Tsuchinoko just kind of acts as an extra body on board. For the most part, that's all he really serves. We don't really want to hit our other dangers with Tsuchinoko. We want Tsuchinoko to be the one that gets hit. Yeah. So we play 15 dangers. You could play another Tsuchinoko, but you don't really need to, just because, like, he's just a 3. And that's not a bad thing, but, like, you want 4s. You need at least 2 4s. The next supporting engine we play in the deck are the Phantom Knights, and this is actually one of the reasons why I even considered playing the deck at all. So we play the 1 Ancient Cloak and we play the 2 Silent Boots. This is the correct ratio to play for this deck, and I don't think you should play any more, and I don't think you need to play any less. So we'll go into what Cloak does. Cloak is on-field effect is irrelevant, but you can turn him in defense mode, gain 800 attack somewhere. But the real reason you play Cloak
is a permanent boost.
It is a permanent boost, which comes up.
Yep.
Rusty's at 29. You can Eradicator your Rusty, and like there's so much we can do. There's so much to explore with the deck, and like sometimes you'll get the Cloak as your normal summon. You'll make the Rusty with your danger monsters. You'll turn it to defense, increase Rusty, and you'll Eradicate him, and your opponent just will not know who gets hit with what they get hit by. The deck is really good going first, but we'll go into that later. Anyways, he can also search you your PK, the Phantom Knight cards. So he can search you Silent Boots. He can search you Brigandine. He can search you the Phantom Knight's Rank Up Magic Launch. I think that's what the name is, but whatever.
Yeah, you got it.
The quick play spell that says your opponent can't play. So we play one of him just because...
But he can't search the Fogblade.
He can't search Fogblade, which is why we only play one of him. And he also can't special summon himself if we control a Phantom Knight monster. Sometimes it comes up where we have like a Brigandine or a Bardiche on board and we can just special the Boots. We can't do that with this. Okay. He also turns into a level 4 because he can turn into Brigandine if he gets discarded off a danger. So he becomes a 4 in that too. Boots fulfills the same requirement, except he can only search Phantom Knight spells or traps, which are just relevant. So he can toolbox everything that he can toolbox, except he can also toolbox the Fogblade, whereas he can toolbox monsters and he can't. Okay. But again, you can also special him if you control PK monster, so he's just insane. And the card just lets you extend, like, he makes Rusty into a +1. Yeah. The next supporting engine we play is a little bit of a Dark Warrior package.
I like this.
Which, if you follow the channel, you know all about it. Now, I'm going to go into why these cards are so powerful. Zephyros just has synergy with our deck because we're going to be discarding consistently. Zephyros gets into the graveyard, and he can bounce back and let us reuse a danger, but most importantly, he's also a 4. He also fills the requirement of being a dark monster, And Zephyros just lets us get off effects that sometimes we wouldn't be able to use before. Sometimes you can have Winder. You don't have to bounce Danger. You can bounce Time Thief
It's
Winder.
any card, right?
Yeah, it's any card. You can bounce Time Thief Winder to your hand, detach a material from your monster, special on the Winder again. Like, so Zephyros can...
Oh, wow.
He turns into 2 cards, which is really good, and he's just a 4. Plus he's a dark. Then we go into Grepher, Armageddon. Like, these guys need no introduction with how powerful they are. Grepher we play because we're playing Nessie. We're playing all these dangers. Like, Grepher is just insane. Like, you know, you can go Grepher, pitch Nessie. Like, that's the combo that everybody knows. And Houston.
So is Grepher Nessie full combo?
Grepher Nessie's full combo, yeah.
I like that.
Like, if you open Grepher Nessie, your opponent is not using monster effects for the rest of their turn. And that's why this card is so insane. The thing with its deck is that it sometimes has a reliance on Bezelship, like having the Bezelship to get the body on board to be able to make the Rusty Bardiche play and the Azathoth combo lock. But Grepher lets you do that with Nessie by himself, and so that's why he's insane to play. And going second, you know, being able to mill cards like Destrudo and making plays with him is really why Grepher is just nuts in the deck. Armageddon Knight, same principle. The guy can actually mill Bezelship, which is super important too. Being able to mill Bezelship and get to Bezel when you don't have it in hand, it acts as like the 3rd copy of the Bezel. That's a better normal summon than Bezel is, so that's why I chose to play this. Also, it can send our guy Destrudo, which is also really relevant because you go into Yazi and Destrudo's also just the dark too. So Destrudo is just super useful. You can go Destrudo target a 3, he becomes a 4. Now we have another 4 for the Redoer.
Big brain.
Yeah, and it just helps you push. And of course the Mirror, which you want to be getting out with the Destrudo. They're paired together. The upside on this combo is insane. Being able to go into Yazi, going into Boral Sword, going into Bryonic, which we still play in our deck because it helps us out Thunderboard going second. Also against Striker, they can't target. So this is what we play to check the meta. We don't want to play hand traps. Right? I don't care about your board. I don't care about trading 1-for-1 with your engage. What I care about is you making your board, me breaking it with Yazi, and then OTKing you. And that's what these cards let you do. They're insane. They're a toolbox. You absolutely have to play them in this deck. And to that extent, I would say that this is probably the most correct way to play this deck if you're looking to play a thicker and heavier Time Thief count. If you wanted to add more cards or play more warriors, you could, but like if you want to play Time Thieves, this is it. I don't think you need to do any more. And I think you could definitely top, get regional invites, and do all that stuff. I'll go on to the spell cards that we play. Allure Darkness. One of the benefits of the deck is that we play all dark monsters. So Allure is always live, unless I guess your only monster in hand is Mirror. If your only monster in hand is Mirror, you have other problems. We play, I think 25 monsters. No, we play 15 dangers, 8 of the at the Time Thieves, so it's 23. 1 Zephyros, 24, 3 PKs, 27, and then these 3 guys and the Mirror. So we play 31 monsters, but we play. I believe 40 cards in the deck. Yeah, 40 cards in the deck. So we're playing like 31 monsters.
Yeah.
You're gonna get enough darks with your Allure, and plus the card says draw 2. We don't need to explain Allure Darkness too much. Then we play 2 Instant Fusions. Instant Fusion is super important because it also puts another level 4 on board. But it's not as important as in like the Dark Warrior deck, where if you draw Instant Fusion, it's an extender. An extender means like 7 other cards and these huge combos. We just Azathoth, so we don't actually want to see Instant Fusion past the first turn. And I decided that Instant Fusions Instant Fusion is really good, but I needed the space for Armageddon Knight and Grepher and the Destrudo. And I may bump it up again just because the dangers let you play more than 40 cards and still have a super consistent deck. But as of now, we play 2 Instant Fusions to summon out the Instant Fusion target, which I'll get into when we get to that. We play the 1 Foolish Burial, the 1 Monster Reborn, and the 1 PK rank up Magic Launch. Now I'm gonna Foolish Burial and Monster Reborn need no introduction. These are 1-ups. These cards are broken. This card puts another 4 on board, helps us, OTK. This puts Destrudo in grave, Bezelship in grave, Zephyros in grave. Like, it helps us OTK, helps us play the game. These cards are insane. And then we play the win condition. Phantom Knights rank up Magic Launch.
So what does this card do?
This card says summon Azathoth. What happens with this card is that you target 1 Xyz monster you control with no material during the main phase, and you can special summon 1 Xyz monster from your extra deck by using this card and that card as material. That monster has to be the same attribute and 1 rank higher.
Yeah.
So Azathoth's a 5, and it's also a dark. Redoer's a 4 and also a dark. So this is what we get to our win condition. We always set this off Rusty, so we play around Ash Blossom. Furthermore, it has an effect in the graveyard where you can banish it from the grave, attach a PK monster from your hand as material to one of your Xyz monsters you control. It's really useful because sometimes you can attach it, and then you can special out the Winder, starts the Bezel, normal the Bezel, and now we got more plays to do going second. Helps you OTK. Again, we'll go into the trap cards that we play now. We only play 2 trap cards, and that is the Brigandine and the Fogblade. Brigandine is super important in this deck because it's also a trap material for Redoer, and when we get into Redoer, that'll give him some bonus effects of being more than just an Xyz material. Phantom Knight Fogblade. of course, is another negate. It lets us put it's another thing to search for and another plus that we can generate, and also just gets us a negate. Because against some decks, like you only need one monster negate, so you instead of prioritizing the Azathoth, you prioritize like a Tornado Dragon Abyss Dweller or like Tornado Dragon Redoer with the trap cards. So Fogbladed for negate is also enough. Like that's 3 negates right there, which is pretty powerful. And this is obviously just turns our PKs into a level 4, so it's super important. So that's 40 cards in the main, guys. It's super consistent in what the deck does, which is making Azathoth. We're going to go into the extra deck now. First of all, we play our Instant Fusion target, Mud Dragon in the Swamp. Mud Dragon came out in the Megatins and had a lot of hype in the OCG. He didn't really catch on here, but that's because we had kind of a little bit of a different metagame. He's normally used with Super Poly, but we use him with Instant Fusion. Because he is a level 4, but unlike Darkfire Dragon or like Carbonala Warrior, he actually does something. He's not a vanilla. His ability is that you can declare an attribute, quick effect, and you can change his attribute to being that attribute. And then monsters you control that are the same attribute as Mud Dragon in the Swamp can't be targeted by opponent's card effects. This is super relevant because you go second, you activate Instant Fusion you summon Mud Dragon to where the Sky Striker monsters summon their Kagari or their Shizuku, and you go, okay, Mud Dragon ability, call it Dark, you start playing all your Dark cards, they can't target you.
It's like a mid-breaker field.
It's literally mid-breaker field, and Instant Fusion that's also level 4 that you can liquidate. The card is insane. Yeah, like it's just nuts. In this deck, it just has so much synergy. They can't do, like Yazi will resolve, so this will make sure you get to Yazi. They can't Widowmaker your Destrudo. So this is a Yazi's going to resolve. I'm going to pop your Widowmaker that you set, or your multi-roll, whatever it is, and then I'm going to OTK you. And then you can, because Instant Fusion is a real summon, you can Monster Reborn this back, which happens sometimes. Now, that's the only Fusion monster we play. Because of Instant Fusion, we go into the Link monsters. We play the 1 Link Rebo. This is for the Mare. That's exclusively what this card does. It just helps us OTK. You have enough space in this extra deck to be able to play utility cards like this. We play the Cerberus, the Space Insulator, and the Nightmare Phoenix. Cerberus and Phoenix are just super powerful. They're super generic in what they do, and I think that every deck should play this. Some decks, if they can afford to play this, they should play it as well. Sure. And in this deck, this card is really good because Yazi will turn into this. Sometimes it's hard to get rid of a Fog-Bladed monster, so you go into the Cerberus, you can go into the Phoenix, and it's just, you need it for the Yazi OTK, and it's just so good. Why wouldn't you play it? Space Insulator is necessary because we play it with Bardiche, and it's a dark monster, and it gives us a down pointer, so it's just really good. It helps us ladder into Bardiche and our other Link plays. The card is nuts. It's a dark, and the reason why we play this over the Underclock Taker, which is another card that I was thinking about, is because this is not an effect monster, so you can't use this to make the Insulator. Plus, the effect to lower attack is irrelevant. It came up. Now going into the Link 3s that we play is the Nightmare Unicorn. Nightmare Unicorn, don't need to explain this card.
That's Link 3.
Discard 1, shuffle 3, shuffle back 1. The card is nuts. This card is nuts. The utility it provides is insane.
Yeah.
And now we play one of the win conditions of our deck, the Phantom Knight Rusty Bardiche, Trusty Rusty, as I like to call him. The card is insane. He is so close to defining a format, and he is so close to being the best Link monster in the game. The card is, for those who don't know what it does, is that you can once per turn, it's not on summon, you can mill 1 Phantom Knight monster from your deck to set a Phantom Knight spell or trap.
That sounds fun.
This card foolishes and then sets. Just think about that. Foolish Burial is limited. Whatever. So this thing foolishes and then sets. And like the Phantom Knight monster that you foolish is usually boots. So you go foolish, you set this, you banish the boots, you set the Burgundy, or you set the Fogblade, you set the Burgundy.
That's like 3 negates already.
3 negates just there. And this is the card. This is why you can Azathoth your opponent. The card is insane.
So now, do you think this card will get hit, or do you think the rank up card is going to get hit?
Ban this. How many problems have we had with this card? Dark Warriors use this card to combo off.
Nothing wrong with that.
So many decks use this card. This card is nuts. If they hit this, crazy. I'll still be abusing this. Hamza will still be abusing this.
You already know.
This is our boy. RIP Firewall, but this is the new Firewall.
Firewall died for nothing.
The next card we play is Boral Sword, one of our win conditions. We play Yazi, we play Mare, summon Boral Sword, kill our opponent.
It's a good card.
And it's a really good card because we need to turn, once Azathoth is just there, he doesn't do anything else. No. We can actually use the material under Azathoth to summon our Time Thief monsters, which is super relevant, but then we need to turn him into something else. So you go Azathoth, special the Winder from hand, Winder search Bezel, banish, summon the Bezel from graveyard, normal the Bezel you have in hand, and now you make Boral Sword without linking away anything else, and you just kill your opponent. It's also really good because Sky Striker, they like to search Eagle Booster and Eagle Booster their monsters, so we can't kill them. And then we just say, all right, bro, Boral Sword for 5k. Yeah, I don't care, Boral Sword. Card's nuts. It also outs Ulti Falcon and stuff like that. Now we'll go into the those are all Link monsters that we play. Now we're going to go into the XCs that we play. Yep. Play Outer Energy, Azathoth.
Ban this card.
Ban this card. Guys are win condition, or one of the win conditions going first against monster-based decks. Azathoth just says win the game.
So what does he do?
When he's summoned, No more. Your opponent can't activate monster effects for the rest of the turn.
Rest of the turn?
Not till the end phase, for the rest of the turn.
Baby.
They cannot use monster effects. It's not an activated effect. It hits the board chain link 2. It just happens. You got Azathoted, pass your turn. Burning Abyss, pass your turn. Dinos, pass your turn. Thunder Dragons, pass your turn. Dark Warrior, pass your turn.
Nope.
Pendulums, pass your turn. Like, that's what this card does. And if you play against other cards, Luna Lights, pass your turn. Like, there's a long list. All right, 2 decks, they don't necessarily pass their turn. Is Geist and Striker, but we tech for Geist and Striker. That's why I play Destroyer. That's why I play the Mare. And you know what? You want to play Sky Striker. Your spells let you play on your turn, but you don't get Gari, you don't got Rei, you don't got Shizuku, you don't got Hayate. Go ahead, man. Play your fair deck. This card's nuts. I don't need to say anything else about it. I'm getting heated. The next monster we play is Abyss Dweller. Dweller is just the nuts. This card is a Floodgate. Again, it stops against Burning Abyss. It stops Dino. Stops Thunder. Stops True Draco. And then sometimes you need the level 4 to make against some decks that aren't necessarily Azathoth. Like against Draco, you don't want to Azathoth them.
No.
But you Dweller Tornado them, and you say, good luck playing the game. And Dweller has just been an insane card since the card has come out.
Best rank 4.
Best rank 4. Like, give me an ultimate rare printing. What is it, super rare? Like, I need LTs.
That's OG.
The card is
super,
insane. And in all seriousness, it stops so many decks in the metagame that sometimes you don't need to put up these 5 negates. You just make Abyss Dweller and your opponent can't play. You'll make like an Abyss Dweller with like something else and your opponent really can't play the game.
No.
Then moving on, we play Baguska.
Whoa. I haven't
Baguska
seen this boy in a while.
Yep, he hasn't really been played since Circuit Break, but now he's back. Just being bull.
With the rarity bump.
With the rarity bump. So Baguska is insane because a lot of the decks that are being played right now, Baguska is a real problem for them to deal with. If you summon Baguska against Dark Warrior, they really do struggle because they need their monster effects to go off, and they really need their monster effects to resolve. Nice, like Hamza has that insane combo where he searches the DDR. You can't search your DDR when your monster's in defense position. Also, he toolboxes out it's so easy to make the Baguska in this deck that you'll go first, you'll go like Baguska and something else, and your opponent just won't be able to play. You turn the Baguska to attack mode, detach the last material from the Baguska, summon your Time Thief, kill your opponent. And he's really good against decks like not necessarily Salamangrease, but he's not bad against Salamangrease. Actually,
he's not that bad.
Yeah, the Kid Gazelle.
Yeah. Mirage Talio either.
Yeah, you're not gonna get Marionettered. You're not gonna get Meluseeked. Because sometimes you just like, what else are you gonna make against them, right? You don't get Meluseeked, you don't get Marionettered.
Yeah, like Candina can't trigger.
Yeah, Candina can't trigger. Trickstars can't play around this card.
No, they can't even attack over.
It's got 2,000 defense. And Thunder Dragons actually have a problem dealing with it. Like, yeah, they can link spam, but if they're not playing the pure danger build, they're playing more of a pure variant, they can't get their initial mill off. And like, you're not playing Brilliant Fusion, so you need your initial mill to really go off. Lone Wolf doesn't work. The card is insane, and I think that in a deck like this, you can really abuse Baguska and what he does. So now moving on from him, we go into the star of the show, Time Thief Redoer.
Oh, yeah.
Card's a common. The card's one of the best cards in the set. You can argue with me.
Super no TS?
Super. I hope it's an ultimate rare.
Oh,
TS,
that's
but like
bold.
super, that'd be great. Like, you can argue with me. This card is better than Extravagance in what it does and how many decks will play it. We'll go into him quickly. So, it takes 2 level 4. The guy's generic. 2400 attack, 2000 defense. If he was 2400 attack or 2500 attack, I'd Eradicator every day with him. So when he's on the field. During each standby phase, you can take the top card of your opponent's deck and attach it to him as Xyz material. That's not once per turn, so if you have double redo, you get attached to material.
Yeah.
Then his effect is that quick effect. Detach material from this card and activate the following effects. If you detach a monster, banish Redoer until the end phase. If you detach a spell, draw 1 card, and if you detach a trap, non-targeting, take something, put it on top of your opponent's deck. This thing's Ignister without the pop. This thing's a strict draw 1. It upstarts, it Ignisters, it Omegas. Like, what more do you want from this card?
And a utility wires without targeting.
And utility wires without targeting. Like, this card is nuts. Like, and sometimes you can really like stack your opponent out of the game because like you'll put the multi-roll back on top of their deck, or like what I did was like you'll put the field spell back on top of their deck. That you're in this grind matchup with Striker. Then you'll Phoenix away the multi-roll, and now they're drawing field spell with no way to trigger Ray. Like, it really helps you set your opponent back, and the card is nuts. It helps us as a thought. It's a removal on its own, and it just keeps coming back and keeps generating advantage because sometimes you'll rip you'll rip a Spiral Quick Fix, or you'll rip a Master Plan, and the Spiral player has to combo without Master Plan. Like, that's gonna work. Yeah. Like, you'll even rip like a Mare, like they're trying to destroy you, it doesn't work. Like, the card is insane. For the Acid Lock combo, you don't trigger the effect. You don't need more than 2, your opponent's dead. And now we go into the synchros. This is what we're toolboxing out. Yazi and then Bryonak. We still play Bryo because it's sometimes it is difficult to get over the Thunderboard. Thunder doesn't really do anything to our deck, but like we still want the Brio to be able to Yazi, Mare, pop, like bounce everything back, kill you, Boral Sword. Like, good luck, have fun. We also play Danger, so Bryo has like double synergy with that, like Brio, Pitch, Nessie, Search something. Like, come on. And Yazi again, it helps our Altergeist, helps our Striker matchup. Yeah. So that's the deck that we play, guys. We'll move into the side real quick, and I just want to show you guys like a general generic side deck. So like Hand Traps, Twin Twisters, Ghost Ogre, Pancreas Tops, evenly matched. Like, This is the deck that we're playing right now. The side deck, these could be anything. This doesn't have to be Ash, it doesn't have to be Ghost Ogre, but it could literally be anything else. With this guy coming out, you can play more hand traps in your side deck. You can play him in your main deck, and he changes the game quite a bit.
Okay.
As for this deck, it requires more testing on where I would want to play him, but this is just like a generic option to show you what you want to play in the side. Back row is your worst nightmare, so you play all the cards that say no to back row. We need Armageddon Knight to be able to really OTK our opponent, or like Grepher or Merrimer and Yazi. So that's why I've chosen not to play Red Reboot, but instead we do play the Ghost Ogre and we do play the Ash Blossom for the degenerate FDK decks that are still running around. I don't side this in against Sky Striker, I don't side this in against Altergeist. This is literally for, oh, you're playing FDK, I'm going to play these cards. That's it. Against Thunder, I don't care. I'm going to evenly, I play main deck out to your cards. You can't Fairy Tale Snow book my Merrimer, so I can actually just kill you.
Snow's also banned though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying you can't Fairy Tale Snow book my Merrimer, sir.
Facts.
Shout out to Fairy Tale Snow, RIP. And then Twin Twister is just insane. Like, back row is what you care about. So that's why you play these cards. You could play any variation of these. You just need these. This is what I side. Against Striker, you make them go first. Against Altergeist, you side this in, you make them go first. Say good luck, have fun. Like, actually against Geist, don't be that crazy. But you could though. Anyways, guys, that's the deck profile. Huge shout out to Sam for letting us upload to his channel. So make sure you guys check him out. Huge shout out to us. Huge shout out to my brother for getting us going.
Yeah, gang.
So just remember, guys, we have that huge subscriber milestone that we're reaching soon, and we're really happy and really glad and very, you know what, like the outreach that we've gotten from the fans have been insane. So thank you guys so much. If you guys want to see more deck profiles like this, combo videos, remember to subscribe to the channel After Gaming.
I feel like Usain in the cheetah print. Talk fresh game, I don't need a minute. RIP the game, I need a minute. Okay, let's proceed with it. I'm in the house, got the deed with it. These bozos always sneak this and they taking shots. I'm a key with it. Like, no, this league business.